Hey everybody, welcome to Snowrunner. Welcome back if you're a repeat offender. Today I am going to continue on with the final missions on here. So we're going to sewage treatment facilities. Unloading zone 2, we need 4 metal beams. Let's go. Yeah, I know. We're going to get the mission started. Alright, let's go. Now, if you watched the previous episode, you've seen that I took a load of metal pipes over to the fabrication plant. Or metal rolls, I guess. Over to the fabrication plant. So we are looking, or I am looking for 4 metal beams. 1. There's one over there. So we got to make our way. Continue up the hill. Oops. Well, might as well just get them all, right? So here to here. Work our way down the side of the mountain. Or just continue up over the top, I guess. To get down to this one. That's 2. And then trying to find another one that's close by. Not seeing any more metal. Brick. Warehouse doesn't have any. That has metal rolls. I guess we'll grab this one. So once we get these, we'll backtrack this way. Up over the mountain. I can tell you that this area sucks. And we'll come down here and we'll grab, oops. Go up this way. Come up here. Grab that one. And we'll just continue up the hill. Down this way to here. Just mapping out my route back to the warehouse. Y'all ready for this? And I should have enough fuel. I have roof fuel, so if you're new to the channel, the vehicle is, I always get it wrong. It's the Volron D53233 JBE edition. It is in the mod menu. If you're not into modded vehicles, don't use it. It does come equipped with studded tires. You don't have to put the big fatties on there if you don't want to. You can change to whatever. Many options. Many options. So, do not have to use modded vehicles. If you are a purist and want to stay true to the game, you do you. But I bought this game. You didn't buy it for me, so I'm going to use it the way I want. I'm going to play it the way I want to play it. As should you. So, I got a lot of comments saying it's modded vehicles. You shouldn't be using modded vehicles and da 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 da. I'm like, you do you, man. That's like somebody telling me I shouldn't put ketchup on my French fries. I like ketchup on my French fries. Same as I like using the modded vehicles to do my jobs. Alright, let's get this one. Fortunately, you only get 1. You know, you don't get 2 metal beams. So that's why we're going to hit 3 spots. Chug. I guessed right on the last one. I said 2 hours, and it was just over. I think it was 2 hours and 12 minutes or something like that. I'm going to guess for this one, we have 3 cabins to make. I'm going to guess about the same. 2 hours. I'm going to try to do it quicker, but I know we have some of the already over there, the medium or the sedimental rolls, so it's going to get me a few pipes. I might even have enough for the 3 because it's 2 for each. Then I need cement. It's 1 to 1 for the cement blocks or concrete blocks. meaning 1 bag of cement to make 1 concrete block. It's 2 bags of cement or cement to make concrete slabs. So we'll see how it goes. Grind, grind, grind. It's the name of the game. I'm not doing a speed run or nothing like that. I'm just trying to be as efficient, as possible. I had many topics on the last one, so I'm trying to think of a topic for this one. I think I left off on the previous one about food trucks and food and like side hustles. Like I said, that was another one of the things I thought of doing. Besides a lawn mowing business, you know. But again, not conducive to where I live in Wisconsin. We had too much snow too early. It's not a full 12-month season. So the employment would be sparse in the wintertime. And hypothetically, you were to have, I think I discussed, 50 lawns. First of all, you got to get 50 lawns. I live in a relatively small community, depending upon what your version of small is. You know, if you lived in LA, you'd be like, oh my God, it's not even a town. That's, you know, because my population is about 9,000, give or take, depending upon the day. So, if you consider that a small town, a big town, a medium-sized town, as far as Wisconsin goes, I think it's on the smaller side, but not super small. There's a lot of communities that are way smaller. You know, 500 people, 250 people, or less, unincorporated. I don't know how many people live there to be considered unincorporated. It's like a village. There's a village. We are not a village. We're a city. There's some villages that are, I guess they're technically villages, and that was what I didn't want to happen. Tip over so we can get this shit back on the road here. There you go. I don't know what happened, but apparently the terrain is a little bit... Again, I don't edit things out. If it happens, it happens. I'm not intentionally doing any of this stuff, so it just goes to show you that nobody's perfect. Nobody. Almost out of gas too. Restore crane, pack cargo. Let's go. But yeah. But anyway, so to try to get 50 people out of 9,000. So whatever that percentage is of that. I think it'd be kind of hard to get 50 clients. But you'd have to have that. Now, on the other end of that, you have 50 clients. And you can mow 10 lawns in a day. Because you only got to do it once a week, you know. Typically, you mow your lawn once a week. There might be a few customers that want to slide in twice a week. So you bring those couple of customers in on a Saturday. So you divide the week up and say, okay, these customers are twice a week customers, so you do them on like a Wednesday and a Saturday type thing. You know, twice a week. So then on a Saturday, we'll just say that you got to mow 5 lawns. Just throwing numbers out there, right? So 5 lawns on a Saturday, you start at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're done before noon. So your day's short. Again, you're solo, though. This is all hypothetical. This is my thought process on the whole thing, anyway. So you mow your lawns, start at 7 in the morning. Then you come home and you do your lawn because, of course, your lawn has to get mowed. And then you can chill and do any kind of maintenance that needs to be done, upkeep. Clean up all your mowers, you know. Or you can do it on a Sunday, but I prefer to do it on a Saturday. Just get it done. Get your brush washer out, clean up all your equipment, brush all the, all the grass and spray everything off real nice. Make it look beautiful, you know. You don't want it to look like, oh, we're running out of fuel. Refuel, roof rack. Fill her up. Let's go. Come on. Come on. And, but now, typically in Wisconsin, where I live, if you get to mow 6 months out of the year, that's a good year. Typically, you start in May, and you go till, so you got May, June, July, August, September, October. Typically. So you got 6 months. That could go either way. You could start in the middle of April and end in the middle of September. You don't know. But say 6 months. Well, what do you do for the other 6 months? Because if you're only doing 50 lawns a week, and you're getting roughly $40 a lawn, that's $2,000 a week. Sounds great, but you got to pay taxes. Your insurance, unless your spouse or better half or partner has insurance through their employer. Let's pretend you don't have any other options, so you have to get your own insurance. Medical insurance is, first of all, very expensive. Even through employers that carry, the bigger the employer, typically the better rate you get. So if you work for a company that only has, don't you lean over, Eileen, that only has 25 employees. Your insurance is probably pretty high, your premiums. Whereas if you work for somebody who has, we'll just use Walmart for an example, where you got hundreds of thousands or millions of employees, your insurance rates are better as far as your premiums are coming out of your paycheck every 2 weeks or every week or however you get paid. So if your spouse or whatever, but yeah, your insurance can be $500 a week or $250 a week. But if you figure high, we'll say $200 we'll say $200 a week for insurance, which is outrageous in my opinion. But we'll just use that as a hypothetical number. So now you're paid, and insurance usually comes out pre-tax. So now you made $2,000, you're down to $1,800. And you take your FICA and your Social Security and your short-term disability and trying to get all the bennies out, to yourself. I'm not sure if that works with self-employment or whatever, but I gotta do more as far as that goes. If it works, I don't think you get short-term and long-term disability if you're the owner. But even then, so now you mow 50 lawns a week, you're making $1,800 a week because you pay insurance. Take the taxes and all that stuff out. You're probably taking home $1,400 a week, $1,200 to $1,400 a week. And then depending upon where you live, that's pretty good money, But again, you got to maintain, and that's all in your pocket. But if you were to take and set yourself a wage of, say, again, hypothetical number, $20 an hour. and you worked 40 hours a week, well, it'll be more than that. In order to make that kind of money, you're going to be working 5 10s in order to get your lawns mowed. I'll still say 55 hours a week because you work Saturday, remember? 55 hours a week, divide that, multiply that times $20 an hour. That's $1,000. $1,100 a week. But you got to figure pre-tax. That's all. What I'm saying is you're going to be putting money away out of your hypothetical $1,400, and you're paying yourself $1,100. It's only $300 a week is going toward your business. Oh, I missed my road. Like your expenses, your maintenance costs, and back for reinvestment is what I'm saying. So you're gonna start upgrading your equipment because again, remember we're starting small. This isn't business 101, by the way, because I have no degrees in any kind of business or any of that stuff. This is all my brain. This is how my brain works. All hypotheticals, all possible scenarios. So you're putting in $300 to $400. We'll say $400 every week is going into your business. How long is it going to take? To pay back people if you've borrowed money from to get your ball rolling. We're going to put it on the loading platform. Or B, to keep it in the bank. Now, if you're only doing $400 a week, hypothetically, that's $1,600 per month times 5. Because, again, or 6. 1,600 times 6. So, what, $9,600? Right? Oh, what's that? 16 times 2 is 32 times 3. Yeah, $9,600 is all you're going to be able to put away your first year. This is all hypothetical. You're not going to do much with $9,600. So you're going to be working probably 3 years. Hypothetical. I think with that $10,000 or roughly $10,000, you could use that as a down payment, or some of that as a down payment on new equipment. Like if you took a bank loan out. Say you took a loan out for 25 grand. 25 grand should get you a nice stand-up lawnmower, a nice sit-down or stand-up zero turn, and a sit-down zero turn. Because you're doing residential lawns, mind you. You're not doing commercials, most likely. So you don't need huge mowers. You can get away with a 30-inch stand-up ride-on one instead of push mowing. Which then you could get your lawns done instead of an hour. You're zipping around. You're doing your lawns in 20 minutes or less. So now instead of working 10 hours a day to get your 10 lawns done, and again, the 10 hours was 10 lawns. So if you can do it in 8 hours, you're not working 8 hours a day. And you're not working 50 hours a week. But then again, if you're only doing that and you're not doing $20 an hour, you're not making $1,000 a week either. You know what I'm saying? If you're paying yourself $20 an hour, which where I live in my small town is above average, unfortunately, is above average income. I think the average wage, as far as if you, this isn't good, I don't think. I got to figure which way I got to go. Is it left or right? We're going to go to the right. If you worked at any factory or whatever, your wages would probably be between between 15 or 16 and $18 an hour. So again, if you're paying yourself $20 an hour, you're above average as far as wages go. Trying not to tip over. That's why I'm doing it this way. And you wouldn't even have to pay yourself $20 an hour if you didn't want to. I mean, you could go less. That way you could put more away. Because once you get your equipment and you get it paid off, I mean, because I don't think the monthly payment, but now, what happens in wintertime? Because even if you didn't invest that money, say you didn't, you had $10,000. $10,000 is not enough to get you through 6 months. It's not. It's not enough to get you through the downtime, the 6 months of no lawns to mow. So then what? It's like, wow, there's snow. How about snow blowing? Okay, well, hypothetically, there are, well, say the 50 lawns. Lawns can be mowed in sets of 10 a day, times 5 days a week. Because you typically can mow your lawn once a week. Snow comes, and everybody wants their lawns shoveled or snow blown or plowed in one day. They don't want to wait till their day. It's like, oh, you're on Tuesday. We don't come around till Tuesday. But it's Thursday. I gotta go 5 days without you plowing my driveway. How am I gonna get to work? All right, I need one more metal beam. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of the other smaller trucks, which should be around somewhere. Let's stop this. We're gonna grab. What do we got? We want one of these. That's that. Is there metal framing over here somewhere? Brick framing, wood framing. Well, it should come up yellow. Brick, metal. Okay. There's metal framing here and metal framing here. Is there a truck over here? Besides, well, you know what? Let's go to that one. All right. Now we're going to find our way to these two. I'm going to grab both of these metal things. I just got to figure out how to get there from here. So we'll go here, 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 here. Through the villages. That's brick. It was still going to go that way. There we go. And then we got to make it over to this one. Over to that. And we got to bring that back over to wherever we got to go. Right here. So the last one is here. I would say your best bet is probably to come up through the train tracks past the accident area, down the train tracks. Hopefully we don't run into any of this. Past the metal factory and up the road. And we'll make our way back. Alright, let's go. But again, you can't snowblow 50 lawns in one day. That's what I'm saying. So now what? Even plowing 50 lawns, 50 driveways. Sorry. I mean, because my driveway, just using it as an example, takes me, with a snowblower, I don't plow, takes me, and again, it depends on the consistency of the snow, whether it be a wet snow or a fluffy snow. It's still pushing an hour or close to it to clean my driveway and get it looking respectable. So, but there aren't 50 hours in a day, you know. So if you're doing 50 lawns or 50 driveways, there's no way. Now, if you have an unpicky customer, first of all, you'd have to get a plow truck. But if you had an unpicky customer, didn't really give a shit, they just wanted the snow out of their driveway so that they can get to and from work and this and that, you could probably get away with plowing in 10, 15 minutes. You'd have the driveway done. But still, 15 minutes, that's 4 an hour, times 12 hours, that's 48. And not everybody's going to want to plow. So again, and then you're just having to wait on snow. Because you could get snow one day, and then it'll be a month before you get snow again. You just don't know. You're waiting on Mother Nature and hoping for her to drop some work in your lap. And the inconsistency, the unreliability, lawn's going to grow. But even then, there are variables with that. If we don't get any rain, we don't get any, you're losing. I want to make sure I'm not missing any of my metal things. Oh, the battery's getting low. Well, I hope I have enough. I have other controllers, so when this one dies, I'll switch. Again, this is my scenario running through my brain, trying to figure out, can I do this? Can I make this work? And no, it's just not feasible. Like I said, if I lived in an area where, like, say Tennessee or Alabama, Georgia, somewhere where it's warm-ish year round, or Florida or Arizona, whatever, where you can do it 10 months out of the year or 11 months out of the year, you definitely could make it work. The only other option is to get yourself a bunch of commercial equipment right off the bat. And again, it's a small town. And then try to pull 100 customers instead of 50. That would be your other option. But the problem is, 100 customers, that's... It's $4,000 a week, hypothetically. I had $40 a lawn, 100 customers. It was hypothetical. $4,000 a week, $16,000 a month. You're still paying your insurance, all of that, but you have now more money left over. But you have to be able to do those lawns in now. Instead of doing 10 lawns a day, you're doing 20. So if you want to work 10-hour days or less, you're doing one every half an hour. And that works fine if you're in a subdivision where everybody wants you to mow their lawn. You can just go one house to the other. Bang, bang, bang. But typically it doesn't work that way. Oh, I fucking got myself in a spot here. Loading platform. This is what I want. And, it just doesn't work that way. You might get a neighbor, but typically you're driving across town. You might have some rural lawn mowing things. Well, now your lawn is bigger. Of course, you charge a little bit more because of the acreage, but we got to turn around. Because of the size of the lawn, everything's based upon the size of the lawn and about how long it's going to take you to do it. So you can't just... I was using $40 as just a ballpark number. Not a whatchamacallit, a definite price point. You're not going to charge poor Miss Jones $80 to mow her lawn, but Mr. Johnson, whose lawn is huge, 2 acres and looks like a golf course, and he wants it mowed this way and wants the striping and he wants this and that. Well, you're going to charge him more than you would charge Miss whatever. But I was just using $40 as an average, as a median price. I'm going to get out of this shiznit. Alright, so that's 2 metal beams. And I'll have 1 extra, but I'm sure I'm going to use them for something. Let me check the other. Is there metal beams on this one? Sure, why not? So I will take it with me and just drop it in the thing. I don't have to take it. I can even take it right to where I'm going. I just park it, put it in the parking lot. I want to get past all of this train wreck and all that stuff. Again, when this first came out, this area was like littered with white cargo containers. You could use those instead of having to craft the cargo container to make your whatever those are. Cabins. Yes. Yes, cabins. Where all these red ones used to be, what you call it. Well, I should have turned off because now I got to try to get around this shit. We're going through the woods. I'm not going to try to go around that. No way. Not with the roof, a roof beam. It's too uneven. It might tip over on this part, let alone going around through that shit. And this road isn't that bad. But anyway, so you have to find something to do in the wintertime. Because there's no way you're going to snowblow. And then if you had 100, how are you going to snowblow 100? Snowblow plow 100 lawns. It's just, this is where my brain goes, and I'm trying to figure it out, and the math just doesn't compute. Because if you did 100 lawns and didn't have to snowblow any, you would still have I know you'll fit through there, you damn thing. It's got the edge of the building. There. I'm running out of fuel though. 21 liters or gallons left. But if you mowed 100 lawns and you were making $4,000 a week, taking your insurance, and you're still clearing $3,000 a week. This is hypothetical. Because the more you make, the more your taxes got to pay. You know, I'm just going to hypothetically say it's $3,000 a week. 25% of your income is going to go toward insurance and whatever. This is, again, I'm not a mathematician, and I don't know the exact numbers. I'm ballparking it in my head. Hypothetical situations. So $3,000 a week times 4, that's $1,200 a month, or $12,000 a month times 6 months, $72,000. Great income. You can live on that. Where I live, you can live on that pretty comfortably. But you're going to be busting ass. It ain't no walking to park. You're going to, you know. And the numbers are all fluctuating. And good luck trying to find 100 customers. Because there's other people in this little town that are doing the lawn care and snow removal and whatever. And they're bigger companies. So they have 20 employees or 5 employees or 10 employees that are they're scouting for other work. So trying to get that many employees would be tough, to be honest. Or trying to get that many jobs. Trying to get 100 jobs. Trying to get 50 would be tough. Alright, we gotta move this because the zone 3 is like right over here. Right now we're just gonna lose it. Restore crane. Drop that there. We'll come back for it. She's almost out of fuel, boys. Alright, we need medium pipes. Where's the bricks? Let's move all this shit out of the way. We have some there. This one might be well, I guess it wouldn't be too bad to get to. We have bricks there and there, which should give me, I think there's 2 at each. We're trying to keep 4 on there. How many do I need? 4. Yeah, there's 2 at each. So I think we can get it done with this truck. I'm just going to refuel mine, which I'm going to recover it anyway. So give me 1 second here. We got to do medium pipes. Let's stick our head down to that thing too. Metal shop. Medium pipes. 1, 2, and 3. One on the loading platform, and 1, 2 on the truck. Start the engine. So we'll get this going. Here's our medium pipes. Now again, on the next video, because I dropped these for the last one, I was preemptive on the previous video to bring a load of metal rolls. So if you're wondering where they came from, I brought them on the previous video. You can check it out. That's why I said, if you're here already, grab them and take them with you. But I got a couple empty warehouses and no more metal beams on, or metal rolls on those. But there's still 26 more metal rolls between the other 2 warehouses. To make more medium pipes or cabins, which we're going to have to make 3 more cabins. So we're going to need, I think it's 3 to 1 for 2 to 1 for a cabin. Cabins are, sorry, cargo containers are 2 metal rolls. So we're going to need, for this one, we're going to need 6 metal rolls for this mission. As you see, we need 3 cabins. But we have concrete blocks to do, which are cement. I want to say there's cement at the one warehouse. But I know there's 5 cement up there behind the wall. I call the waterfall garage. So I'll probably hit that one. I think that's what my paperwork says. Yes, I have 5 cement up there, which would give me 5 blocks if need be. And I can do that with one of these trucks. They're going to have to go back that way anyway because of fuel and other things, damages. Refresh everything and start over, you know. But yes, I try to think of and if you just wanted to do a side hustle instead of full-time employment. Now, I was talking about, you know, becoming a sustained income, you know, as a lawn mowing company. It'd be tough around here. Not that you couldn't do it, but it'd be tough. Trying to get the competition or beat out the competition or whatever, it'd be tough. Because they're already established and you're trying to come in as the new guy in the block and you'd have to lower your rates trying to pull customers. Well, now you're not making the money and now you're pissing them off, these other, your competitors off because, well, this guy can do it for this price. And they're like, what the hell are you lowballing me for? And this and that. It becomes politics. And this is a small town. Everybody knows everybody. And you just, yeah. Not that it's a free country. Do what you want. But yeah. Anyway, so as I was saying earlier on last video back, the fact that you could do a food truck here and probably sustain year-round employment. Because there is a lot of manufacturing jobs, manufacturing places. Not as many as there used to be, but there's enough. Oh, we're going to go the other way. Back up. We're going up into the woods. Come on. Then we'll go to the bricks. I believe there's enough in between that and just your daily customers. I think because of the fact that the younger generation, the Generation Z or whatever it is now, I'm not familiar with the terms, so forgive me if I'm wrong. From 18 to 30. Is that Gen Z? I don't know. I think so. Now we're talking about current age. And even in the teens, so 16 to 30, whatever, if they're employed or whatever. They like their stuff basically given to them, or handed to them in a sense. Whereas they call Uber Eats or Grubhub and have their stuff delivered to their houses. Now with the food truck, you won't be able to do that. But you're mobile, so you just post, today I'm going to be in this parking lot. Today I'm going to be in this parking lot. Today I'm going to be, and if you're a factory or a manufacturing company, and you'd like to get in on it for your lunches, I could bring my truck to your work at say 11 o'clock or 11:30, whenever your lunch is, and all you have to do is walk out the door. If you placed your orders in advance, walk out the door, get your food. I would set up early, make the food so that when you come out at 11:30, your burger and fries or whatever you decide you're going to have is available. So you don't have to drive across town. A lot of places you can't leave the building or can't leave the premises, because you only get 20 minutes for lunch. They pay you for it, so they don't want you to leave the building or leave the property. You can go outside, but you can't leave because they're paying you. And you're on the clock, essentially. But you can go get, you can go to the break room and wolf down a bag of chips for $1.50 or whatever they charge for a bag of chips out of the machine. Make a pack of lunch. Or you can have hot food out of a food truck that's parked right outside the door. So you're at that location for all of 10 minutes for them guys to come out, grab their food, and then you're gone. Move on to the next factory. So the next factory has their lunch at noon. Well, you have time to get over there and get set up and start cooking whatever, 10 orders or 20 orders, But you got a lot of overhead when it comes to food. There's a lot of ifs and whats and candies and nuts and beer and cheese and wine. I don't know, whatever, however the term. So you buy X amount of fresh hamburger or ground beef or burger meat, whatever you guys call it. I call it ground beef. It's all the same, whether it be ground round, ground chuck, ground whatever, ground sirloin. It's ground beef, in my opinion. You can make burgers out of it. Good enough. Say you bought 20 pounds. And unless you're working with a special place where it's going to give you a discount because you're buying 20 pounds at a time, and it's again a hypothetical number of 20 pounds, and you get yourself a hamburger press, and you could go frozen at hockey pucks, frozen patties, but I think you're going to get more of a better feedback off of fresh, made fresh every day instead of frozen hockey pucks that dry out and whatever. Your burgers are made to order. It's a fresh thing instead of frozen thing, and I think you're going to come out ahead. But what's your overhead? I mean, say you spend $5 a pound for ground beef or ground meat or whatever you call it, burger meat. Then you bought 20 pounds, you had $100 tied up in that. So now you've already got to cover $100. We're going for cement. Oh, one more. There you go. So now this warehouse is empty. Actually, it disappeared, so there's nothing left. It's completely empty. But you've got $100 already tied up. So now you got to make that $100. And then you got your buns. So now we're going to say, hypothetically, they're quarter pounders that you're going to make out of this 20 pounds. So that's 80 quarter pounders. Hypothetical, again. That means you got to buy 80 buns. To put the burgers on. Unless you got some other vessel. If somebody wants a lettuce burger or, keto free, keto friendly, whatever, then it's a little different. But are you offering that? I don't know. Whatever. It's up to you. You make the menu. If you're going diner fare, you're going burgers, fries, hot dogs. Your basic diner food. Or doo-wop, or what do they call those places? Car hop food. Malt shakes. You can have a rolling car hop, or whatever you call it. Plus, you're going to have regular customers, too. So you got to have that in the mix, too. I mean, you could do weekly specials or daily specials. So there's money in it. Again, but you've already got to cover the buns. And I would say, hypothetically, $2 a package, 8 in a package. 80 buns, 10 packages. You got $160 tied up in buns. Plus the $100 you already put out for the burger. And then you got people that want cheeseburgers. And I want Swiss cheese. I want provolone cheese. And there's so many variables. And you're buying fresh ground, so you're doing this on a daily. And you're hoping to sell 80 hamburgers a day. So now you've got and we're just doing burgers right now. So you've got 160 plus another 100, 260 plus condiments and cheese, and I'm gonna say $350. Just a ballpark. My brain is trying to compute things. $350 tied up in stock, essentially. How much do you have to sell? Well, obviously you got to sell it all. But what's the price point? What do you have to sell these burgers at? Or cheeseburgers, bacon cheeseburgers. Forgot about bacon. You want to add bacon to that, now you're going to add $5 a pound for bacon. So yeah, you got, we'll say 10 pounds of bacon or 5 pounds of bacon at $5 a pound. That's $25. Yeah, you're close. You're pushing $400 just for the burgers. That's if you're doing burgers. You don't have to do burgers. You could do sushi if you want to do a sushi truck. But I'm guessing the price point is still going to be just as high or higher. French fries, pretty basic. I mean, you get yourself some. You could go cheap and just buy some frozen French fries, or you could just buy potatoes and French cut your own. Fresh cut them. I'd like a fresh cut homemade French fries. They're pretty good. We gotta change this. I'm just gonna get myself a picture real quick since I'm sitting here. Before I forget. Otherwise it'll be like, shit, I forgot. No, I didn't even save the last one, did I? I didn't get a picture on the last one. Maybe I did. I don't think I did. I'll find one then. Factory sewage treatment facilities. I gotta hit the save button, moron. Excuse me. Okay. I don't believe I got the last one, but it doesn't matter. I can get a thumbnail. What was the last mission anyway? I'd have to go back through my videos I recorded and I'll find something. No worries. Because I know pretty much for a fact that I didn't save one. That was named weird. Alright, we're on our way to the concrete factory because we need blocks. Oh. I didn't save. I should have saved the last one. Maybe that was the last one. Huh. I think I took a snip before, but I didn't title it. Oh, it's going to bug me. Where did it go? Well, I went to a different screen. Son of a bitch. I believe I got it. I just didn't title it the name of the last one. I remember taking a screenshot. Anyway, we're back on this restaurant. There, this food truck thing. How much do you have to sell? You've got $400 tied up in just in burger inventory. And you've got 80 burgers to make 400 bucks. Just to break even, you got to sell these things at $5 a piece. Just to break even. And that's just the burgers, the buns, and the condiments. Not counting the styrofoam containers or whatever vessel you're going to put these burgers in when people come and order them. You're not just going to hand them a burger. You're going to have some kind of container, whether it be styrofoam or plastic or cardboard or whatever. To put it in. Say they order french fries and whatever. So, or tots or however you want to do it. I'm a big tater tot fan. But, and those are cheap. You can mark them up. So like if you made your own french fries, you could buy a big bag of potatoes. And the markup on those would be pretty high. And the initial cost isn't very high. But how much do you have to, again, how much do you have to sell these things for to make money? You've got, well, just hypothetically with the containers, with everything, you got $7. Again, hypothetical. $7 tied up in one burger meal. So what do you put it at, $10? I think that's the relative, because you're getting not getting a frozen burger, you're getting a handmade burger. We need concrete blocks. Yes, blocks. Craft 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Blocks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's no bricks over there, is there? There's some here. There's 3 bricks here. I could sneak over here and grab these. Can I get... No, I ain't going to be able to get 3 on there. There's bricks over here, too. I think we'll run these back. And we'll go from there. Oh, I was going to go up into the other thing and get them anyway with the other truck. So, let's rock. But anyway, you got $7. So you're only making $3 on every one of these burger meals. Right? Why is this thing so slow? $3 on each one. And you got 80 of them to sell because you bought all this materials. It's $240 in profit. Now, mind you, it's just the burgers. So if you did a hot dog, I had a hot dog roller machine in your cart, or if you cooked them on a flat top, depending upon what kind of food truck you have. There's options. You can even get grill boxes for some of those things, and then you could cook them like you were cooking in your backyard barbecue. But that's all inventory, too. I mean, hot dogs are relatively cheap. You could buy a package of hot dogs, like Nathan's or whatever brand you're going to do. Say $5 a package for a decent wiener. But you got buns. You know, they come 8 to a package or whatever it is. So there's money in it, for sure. As long as you don't have... And hot dogs are different. The longevity of a hot dog versus ground beef. So say you don't sell all your hot dogs. Well, you can just keep them in your real refrigerator. And they'll keep. Ground beef, to me, gets funny once you go past like 2 days. So if you don't sell your hot dogs and even ground beef, I want that day. Sorry. Hot dogs, 2 days. If you don't sell them, garbage. Or give them away to the homeless or whatever at the end of the second day. It's like, here's some free food because I wasn't able to sell it. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to put that out there because then people are just hanging around your food truck wanting to get free food. But there's all kinds of ways to make little side hustles and make little bits, like, say, nachos. Nachos are cheap. Bags of fucking tortillas and some jalapenos and cheese and little cardboard boats, and you got yourself nachos. Or a styrofoam container full of nachos, or however you want to do it. But again, it's all perishable items, so you can't just store this stuff. You know? Blocks are gone. We need 4 bricks. I think we're better off using one of these trucks to get bricks than one of those trucks. But we're going to try to do it with one of those trucks. Change truck. Recover. Oop, not refuel. Recover. Alright, so now we're fixed and refueled. We're going to go get our 4 bricks from off in the swamp. There's another one of you guys. We got cabins we got to build yet. And then there's another thing we got to do. We're going to have to bring the truck over from the other map. I might create another saddle high truck because... What are we looking at on time? Well, we're at about an hour. We're doing pretty good. I was thinking this was going to take 2 hours, so... I'm actually doing pretty well. I just want to get my map routed out here. And the bricks are over here. We're going to come through here. There. And we can't go up over this. That's just not good. Is there anything else over this way that's bricks? No, way down here there is, but... I'm just trying to find a way to get from here without having to go up over that mountain. I think we can sneak. Sneak through here. Well, this is a bad area. Where's the other brick? Goes over there. We go here, here, here. Cut through here. Go up through the pass. We're trying to avoid the... Well, we're going to get over there, though, so... Kind of meander through this crap. To the other brick. And then we'll work from there. Y'all ready for this? But yeah, there's money in that, but it's all, again, perishable items. Lawn mowing, there's no perishable item. You're just depending upon the weather. There's different risks to everything you're going to do. There's no guarantees with any of it. There's no guarantees you're going to get, you know, if you're doing burgers and fries and like that kind of stuff. Now, if you were going to do, say, and I think it's a great idea because it's less overhead, just do spuds. Spuds is another name for potatoes. So your truck could just be spuds. Or the spud guy, or whatever, however you want to do it. I think Spuds is good. Not Spuds McKenzie from the 80s and 90s. The terrier that was the mascot. No, we're just going Spuds as in potatoes. You can do the fry guy if you want to do it too. But then you get McDonald's going, hey, we had the fry guy. You know, so you can do chips. You know, you can do whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so potatoes, as I said, are pretty cheap overall. You do hand-cut French fries. You could do frozen French fries. You give the customer a choice. You want them hand-cut, you want them crinkle-cut, you want them shoestring, you want homemade waffle fries. You could have your own French fry cutters. You could do, you know, your own crinkle cuts, your own, because you can buy those gadgets, you know. And potatoes, again, are cheap. So you buy 50 pounds or 100-pound bags of potatoes, and as long as you wash them and soak them and whatever, you can do shit tons of potatoes. Oil, potato. You can do different add-ons to them. Like I said, loaded tots. You wanted to do tots, loaded fries, cheese fries, chili cheese fries. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And low inventory costs as far as your perishables. You got condiments because people want to put ketchup, want to put vinegar, and depending upon where you're at. Cargo management. People want to do all kinds of different things to their French fries: ketchup and mayo, tartar sauce, gravy. You want to do poutine. You want to do whatever. But you gotta have all these ingredients on hand to do these things. I mean, you can whip up a batch of chili. You could use canned chili if you want. People are going to know it, that you use can over fresh, but you figure it out. But there's money to be made. And it's just French fries. Get yourself a food truck with a couple of deep fryers in it. You're good to go. Who doesn't like hot, fresh French fries? And a good fry is hard to beat. I don't care who you are. A good fry. Now I'm not talking about these styrofoam French fries from certain restaurants, fast food places. I'm talking about actual potatoes, not dipped in hydrogenated whatevers and fried and this and that, beef fats and not a lot. I mean, they're good French fries when they're hot and fresh. But when they're not, they're not. And we've all been there. We've all gotten those fries that typically are good, and all of a sudden, what happened to these fries are disgusting. Well, they're just not quite hot. They're not. These have been under the oil for a fryer or for a while. You know, whereas these would be fresh, crinkle cut French fries. You can be the fry guy. You can be the, and you can make money on that. I mean, again, how much does the potatoes cost? You could $5 for a large fry, and you only had $1 or $2 invested in it, and you can go $5 or $6, depending upon your portion sizes. To me, a large fry would be like one of those styrofoam containers full of French fries. So it's a meal. It's not just a snack. It's a meal. You're looking at a half pound or better of French fries. But you gotta have your good oil, good fryers, right temperatures, all that stuff. There's many, many. We're gonna need that other one. Brick. Nope, that's wooden planks. Still going. Back up. I'm like, that's not what I want. I'm gonna need them. I'm gonna have to get some for my containers or my cabins. I need 6 wooden planks. I need more metal beams. We're still a ways out. Or metal rolls, sorry. But yeah, I mean, spuds. Even for a brick and mortar. Let's call it spuds. And that's all you're doing is French fries. Pommes frites. However you want to do it. Alright. Platform. We're going to go here. Turn. We got to be able to get them all on here, but if you go too far forward with the first row, and then trying to get that second one on there. It's harder. But yeah, there's, as far as side hustles go. Now, again, if you wanted to do it as a side hustle, the lawn mowing, say you only wanted to do 10 lawns, right? So you do 10 lawns a week, and you do it on one of your days off. Say, hypothetically, you have Saturday, Sunday off, which would be great, but I don't. You have Saturday, Sunday off. We got to figure out how we're going to get back to the. What do we got? Bricks? Yeah. Go through here and back up the road. You have Saturday, Sundays off. So you take Saturday and go, okay, Saturday I'm going to go mow 10 lawns. And you charge, again, $40 per lawn on average. You mow 10 lawns, you made $400. And as long as everybody paid cash, you could stay under the radar. You just made $400. And you just do it with your regular lawnmower, whether it's a push mower or your standard ride lawnmower, and you're good to go. You stick with residential lawns, the smaller ones. It won't take that long. You can get through, if you had a decent rider and a decent push mower, you can get through an average. My lawn is a little bit bigger than an average residential lawn, and it takes an hour-ish. A little more than that, but I'm particular about my stuff. And I guess if you want to have good customers and customers that come back, you're going to want to be particular about their lawn as well. So you do, again, 10 lawns a week, roughly $40 a lawn. I mean, you could go up, certain lawns are going to be 50, 60, whatever. All depending on the size, how much detail, how much crap you got to mow around. All that stuff is, to me, all factors of what the price is going to be. You sit down with the customer and discuss it. And, I mean, you just put it in the paper. Prices start at $40 a lawn. It's kind of like when you go to the store. It's like the cheapest one you're going to get is this. And the prices, you want to start adding on any luxuries or add-ons, then the price goes up. Want me to trim your bushes once a month, if you want me to, or once a week, or whatever. You want me to clean out your gutters in the winter or fall or spring? You can do that. Just the little add-ons, add $10 to it. I'll climb up a ladder and clean out your gutters. You want me to pressure wash your driveway? All these little things that you can add on. But again, if you're trying to keep it under the radar, you don't want to be making $3,000 a week pocket money. And then Uncle Sam's gonna go, wait a minute, where'd you get this extra income? But I think $400 a week is, you could stay. I just won that at the casino. Even $500 a week. Yeah, like I went to the casino because where I live, there's casinos everywhere. So I went out playing on a slot machine. So stay under the radar, cash only. You can make some money. But again, now you're only going to do that 6 months out of the year. But you ain't looking for a full dependent job. You're looking for something for a side hustle for the summertime. Well, $400 a week, $1,600 a month, 6 months out of the year, about $10,000 of extra side hustle money. So, for 1 day a week. All right. I got my bricks. Now we're going to need some metal rolls. Stop the engine. Now we need metal rolls to make cabins. Typically I would have gone over to this map, over to the flooded foothills to here, because it's right here by the gateway. Drive in, grab 3 cabins, or actually it's right here. Grab 3 of the cargo containers and head back out. That's it. That's all you gotta do. I got wood framing over here. I got some logs I could get. I got some bricks and stuff still left over here. But I don't need the bricks. It's the wood that I need. But again, there's some wood there. Because we're going to need 6 wood. Let's go back to the other map. Hopefully we have 6 wood over here in Big Salmon Peak. Do we have 6 wood? We got 1 or 2. That's 2, 4. Sorry. I'm counting like the count. A 1, a 2, a 3. There's my 6 wood. So we need a truck that has... And we gotta bring that to the cabin thing. We're gonna grab. Not that. Well, I would like to go this way. So we recover one of these. Change truck. That'll work. We're gonna detach. Delete, recover, leave. We have to make cabins, but we have to get wood to make the cabins. We have to get metal rolls to make the cargo containers, to make the cabins. Right now, we're going to go to get the wood to make the cabins once we get the cargo containers. Alright, so we got wood. Wood. Back on the tracks. Cut through here. It was just over here, but back out again. Over to here. And we're going, where are we going? Yeah, we need to go through there. Here. Back through here and back up to the cabin. Construction area. Let's go. Mm-hmm. We have lots to do. Uh, but yeah, for side hustles, I mean, there's plenty of. You could do a hot dog cart side hustle. You can buy enough hot dogs for the weekend or for the day, and do it as a side thing. If you could buy a cheap hot dog cart for $1,000, you know, or $2,000, and you could pull $500 in a weekend or a day on a Saturday or something. A couple weeks, month, whatever, you got it paid off. Um, and the rest is all pocket money because once you've got it paid off. It just depends on what you want to do. You got to stay legal. Again, with the food stuff, you got to be able to get your permits. You can't just start selling hot dogs on the corner. The city's going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whereas mowing lawn, I think you can get away with staying under the radar. And you're going to get less spore out, in my opinion, cooking hot dogs than you would be mowing lawns, unless you're all riding lawnmower. But if you start mowing lawns, that's a long day, 10 hours a day. We're going this way first, to the right. You just gotta, how much do you really want to make money? But you work hard for your stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was it. What's that song? You work hard for the money. Well, that's some other thing. She works hard for the money. Yeah. I don't know if that's a prostitution song or what the hell that is, but anyway, we're not going there. Not a big fan of this blue trailer as far as hauling it through the swamp, but we'll get her done. It really depends on what you want to do for a side hustle. And it's much easier if you're of a certain age, which I've already passed that certain age up. Sorry. Unfortunately. We gotta go backwards because we're gonna hit the train tracks. It's funny, I just had a friend from many moons ago messaged me on Facebook. And literally just now. Talking about a story of something we did when we were 17 probably. We decided we were going to go rafting. I don't know if you guys want to know this stupid shit, but we decided we were going to go rafting. Now, the river we were going to go rafting on was high floodwater stage, right? And there's dams in this stretch of river where we were going to go rafting. Behind said dam, above the dam was being controlled by the dams and a spillway and everything. Behind said dam, the water is spraying out, as you can imagine. We decide we're going to jump in the water with car inner tubes, because back in the day, cars actually had inner tubes in their tires. Now picture a car tire size inner tube, rubber valve stem sticking out of it. Probably, well, your average car tire is what, 30 inches across on the outside diameter. Just a hypothetical number, approximate number. So not a real big device. You know, it's got air in it, so it is a flotation device. But anyway, so picture two morons, me being one of the two. Yeah, we can swim. We're both great swimmers at the time. I'm not going to swim any. I'm not Michael Phelps. But I could swim. I taught swimming classes back in the day. The teacher recruited me to be a swim coach. Not laps and all that shit, but just actually teaching people how to swim. And I got straight A's through class, so it was an easy A. Anyway, so us two morons with two car inner tubes, no helmets, no life jackets, just two morons with cut off jean shorts and because we're morons. And we jump in just a little ways downriver from the dam. I mean, a couple 100 yards maybe. I mean, that water is whitecaps, if you know what whitecaps are. Huge. This is like a class 5 rapids. It's like jumping into Colorado River. But this is not the Colorado River. This is my version of the Colorado River. Anyway, it's actually the Wisconsin River. Anyway, so we jump in the water with our inner tubes, just like it was your backyard swimming pool. We didn't give two shits. We dive in there and we go. Now, we know this stretch of water when the water is at a normal level. One on the trailer, one in the loading zone. So we know that about a mile downriver, give or take, there's a waterfall. We used to jump off said waterfall when the water is at a tolerable median level, normal level. We jump off, it's a little pool below the waterfall, and it's like, oh, this is great. And it's a nice deep hole, It's got rocks all around it, so you can jump off and come back up. And well, now picture this 12-foot waterfall at a normal level. When the dam above said waterfall is blowing water out of there like it's the Hoover Dam. And because of the rain, floods, and stuff that we had. previous. That 12-foot waterfall was probably a 30-foot waterfall. And the water coming back toward the bottom of the waterfall wasn't a nice little pool. It was a cesspool. So we go over. We're like, oh crap, the waterfall. As we were coming up, and we could barely see because it was like really rolling rapids. Inner tubes. No life jackets, no helmets, no. Now, mind you, there are rocks and stuff. It's not just a nice lazy sand river, it's chaos. It's utter morons, two morons. We go over this waterfall, and of course I lose my tube, right? Because you go over backwards, and you're in a little car inner tube, so whatever. We go over the waterfall, and I get stuck in undertow of the cesspool. So now I'm swimming. I'm in the water. The water is like dark and murky because of the runoff and everything. And it wasn't the cleanest water as far as a lot of runoff from shoreline stuff and stuff like that. It wasn't like it was chemically. It wasn't the East River or the Hudson River and all like that. It was just runoff. And we go over the waterfall, and I'm sucked in the undertow. And again, I can swim. That wasn't a question. So I'm swimming. I could touch the bottom. It kept getting sucked down to the bottom. So I could push off with my feet. And I'm swimming, and I'm swimming, and I'm swimming, and I can see the darkness getting lighter and lighter. I'm like, oh, I'm almost up to the surface. And I'm going and going and going, and all of a sudden it was dark, dark, dark again, and getting darker. And I'm on bottom again. I could push off the bottom, and I go back up again, and I'm swimming. And it seemed like an eternity. This is no bullshit. This is actually, it has happened. So this isn't a fairy tale story. This is stuff that happened when I was younger. Anyway, he just messaged me that we were talking about it. And that's what's making me think about it. So that happened about 5 or 6 times. That going down, coming back up, coming down, almost where I could see light. And because it was a sunny day, but I could see like lightning, it was lighting up. So I don't know how close to the surface I actually was. Never really cracked the surface. And luckily I can hold my breath, and again I can swim. And it seemed like an eternity. It was probably literally only a minute, maybe 2 at tops. Because 2 minutes underwater is a long time. But it all happened so fast, but yet so slow. I think back on it, it was like it was in slow motion, but it was not going slow. Up and down, up and down, up and down. And finally, all of a sudden, whoosh, I'm out in the middle of the river on this rock that is normally sticking up above the water, probably 20 feet. We used to jump off of this rock. This rock is just above the water as the surface of the water. That's how deep the water was. It was insane. How stupid we were is what it comes down to. How moronic, how stupid. Thinking back on it now, I'm like, 100% lucky to be alive. So I pop onto this rock. I'm choking, hacking up water, because I probably swallowed half the fucking river. And landing in the middle of the river on this rock. Trying to catch my breath. And then the next thing that popped in my head is, where's so-and-so? To protect identities, I don't want to say names. Where's so-and-so? Where's so-and-so? Oh, I'm standing on this rock, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking. And it was probably another 30 seconds. Again, it seemed like it was an eternity. All of a sudden, he pops up, no bullshit, he pops up out of the water, probably 50 yards away from me, still sitting in his tube. He was sucked underwater in the undercurrent, in his tube. When he popped up out of the water, it was like a baby duck popping up out of the water, following the mama. They dive down and come back up. That's what it looked like. And he was still sitting in his tube. How he went over the falls and still stayed sitting, mind you, in his tube the whole time. I have no clue how that happened. And he was looking around for me, and I'm looking for him. So I'm standing there waving my arms. I'm like, I'm over here. Well, now I'm in the middle of the river, and way too far for him to. He's got his tube to shore. By the time he was a half a mile or so downriver because the current's moving. He walked back upriver, and of course it's so loud with the water rushing and pack cargo, restore crane, and we're trying to figure out how I'm going to get to shore because in either direction of this rock, it's probably 50 yards to shore. Normally it wouldn't be that; it would be 20 yards. But it's 50 because the water's high. And it's like, which way should I go? I should go this way, but it's probably better this way, and this and that. I jumped in, swam, and as I'm going down river, I swam toward the shore and got by him and whatever. But then we got beyond all of that. We started walking back down. But yes, we both survived, thank God. And to this day, which is many, many years ago, later, I still won't go rafting. I get invites to go tubing or rafting or whatever. I will never go back in there. I'm not afraid of water, but I'm not going to go rafting. If you lived through something like that, it's just not going to happen. But yeah, that's my rafting story. I don't know if you want to hear that or not, or wanted to hear that or not, but it's all true, 100%, no BS, and yes, I will never do it again. All right, so we need 3. We have enough blocks. We need 3 cargo containers. So we need 6 metal rolls to get 3 cargo containers. Where can we get metal rolls from? I have my little notebook here. There's 16 metal rolls there. 10 metal rolls there. Let's go to the warehouse. We're going to go to the warehouse with 2 trucks. Alright. So let's back out of this one. I think there's another truck, one of these over at the... because we're going to be using these anyway. Is there still a truck up... Where are we at? Up here. Yes, there's actually 2 trucks. We're going to grab this one and the one I'm using now. And we're going to go get go get 10 more metal rolls. We'll grab them all from one warehouse. And I'll pull it back and we'll go up to the thing and we'll get our cabins and we'll build that and then we're almost done. But that's only for the first part. We still have another part of this. So, and we're pushing, where are we at now? Hour and a half? It's going to be close to get it done in 2 hours. The second part of this isn't that bad of a mission, so it's going to take a little thing in the middle or whatever to get it done. But anyway, so yeah, that's my raft story, and again, been invited multiple times. I mean, I'll go to a water park where there's tubes or like a lazy river or something like that. I'm not completely traumatized by the situation, but I'm not going on a regular river. If I don't know where the bottom is and how deep the water is and what the terrain is, unknown. And again, I knew that river like the back of my hand. It was a completely different monster when the water is, 20 feet higher, 15 feet higher, deeper. Crazy. As crazy as what we were. That's what it was. And he messaged me and asked me, hey, you want to go rafting? And I'm like, no. I had seen him on, it was like, you're on Facebook and it says suggested friends. Somehow, his name pops up on there as a suggested friend. I'm like, holy crap, I remember that guy. We did this. And what do you think his first comment was? His first comment, besides hello, holy crap, it's been forever, The next comment was, "Hey, you want to go rafting or tubing?" I'm like, "Dude, you're a dick." That's what I'm thinking, but because guys talk to each other like that, you know. We talk to each other like it's crazy. If women ever talk to each other like guys talk to each other, it would be a complete, utter chaos. Did you ever think of that? Holy crap! If the ways guys rib on each other, you know, give each other crap, whatever all you want to call it. Um, could you imagine two women talking like that, or a group of women talking like that to each other, giving each other a hard time? It would never happen. They would be a giant cat fight, and then they would hate each other forever. A guy's like, ah, screw you, man, or wouldn't use the word screw, but he'd be the other F word. But screw you, man. You're like, I had sex with your mom. You know, I don't think two girls are like, hey, I had sex with your dad. And be like, what? You know what I mean? It's a whole. I don't know. It's. If you just think about stupid shit like that, and like my brain goes to these stupid places. It's like it doesn't make any sense why my brain does that, but it does. All right, so we're gonna go this way because going past that, whatchamacallit, is not a good idea. Oh, this isn't a good idea either, really, but. Yeah. But think about it. How I just laughing myself. How women or men talk to each other. You know, giving each other a hard time, picking on each other, whatever, greeting each other. You know, bringing up stories of the past, whatever. But there's a lot of F's and F bombs and whatever else. I don't think women talk like that. I think we're different animals in that aspect. I don't think that's gonna go through that tree. I might get lucky and have a bounce. Or get stuck right in the middle of the tree like that. Ay, ay, ay. Change truck. Was that a bad idea? Really, was it? How the hell? Seriously. Seriously. Well, now it's going to hook to the tree, not to the trailer, and somehow I got that to go. I'll take it. I'll accept that. Your Honor, I'll take the plea bargain. Come on, I just want to hook these back up. I can't get underneath it if you're not going to be cooperative. Oh, it's too far. Where are you going, dude? What the fuck is with this trailer? You can't get underneath it. Sorry, pardon my French, but it's horseshit. Well, it was that. All right. Come on. Now we're just going to drag it upside down. We'll just take it over to the warehouse. Figure it out over there. I'm in the open, not in the non-open. You get it up against the damn tree in order to get up underneath it. Yeah, now it slides up underneath there. Wasn't doing it before. Damn game. Alright. I gotta go get my other truck. I don't know why. Is it just me or my shit just doesn't want to work? It like freezes up. Anyway, so yeah, just think about that. Back to that topic. How men talk to each other, and you know, if women talk to each other the same way guys do, it would be like, what did you say? I can just see. Oh my god, it's hilarious. Change truck. There are some subtle differences between guys and gals. I mean, guys, not my friends, but another guy will intentionally try to slap another guy in his junk. Just one of those slaps to see if he's paying attention. Would another chick do that to another chick? I don't think so. I mean, a chick, a female, woman, whatever. Would that happen? I got medium pipes. I didn't even need them. All right, so I need metal rolls. That's one. I wish I could just go down the road. We're going to go all the way around. It's just the fastest route because of the fact that it's better terrain to go road than it is to go through the woods. All right, so there is no more metal rolls. And just left. I called it left warehouse. All right. But yeah, well, shit, the guys do. That a woman, I don't. It'd be funny to see it. Actually, I would laugh my butt off if I saw that. Like, oh my god, it does happen. Alright. So we can meander through this shit to get it done. Again, if you guys have any questions, but enough of me rambling on for a second here. I did say a second. You know, have any questions or concerns or comments or whatever, feel free to drop them down below. Yeah, and I told the raft story not as a horror story because luckily nobody, other than, you know, maybe some mental issues or long-lasting or permanent mental damage, should have had therapy. No, nobody was physically hurt or harmed. You know, if somebody would have passed on because of what happened, I wouldn't have. Again, that fucking tree. We're gonna go around. If somebody would have been harmed in any way, like physically, permanent, whatever. Hey, if my buddy would have drowned, I wouldn't have been telling you this story. Or if, of course, if I would have drowned, you wouldn't have heard the story either. But you know what I mean? I just wouldn't do it. It'd be distasteful. I have another story of something on that order, but I don't. I don't talk about it because it's not. It's not a good story. There's not a good ending to it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to where we're going. Trying to get these cabins done. Again, we still have the other part of this to do yet. Just thought I could squeeze by. Just missed it. I'm trying not to clip that trailer back there. Hooked on a tree. I'm over a guardrail. Mother Fletcher. Come on. Jesus, how big is this guardrail? All the way back that far? Apparently I took the corner a little too wide. Come on. There we go. Now we made it. This is why it's nice to have two people to play. Oh, damn computer. Why is it always dark? You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure my truck is still back there. Because I've done it. I mean, if anybody else has done it this way and all of a sudden they're driving along and they get to where they're going and look back and there's no trailer, it's like, oh, shit. Oh, this is such a pain in the ass. But we're getting to the tail end of this. So. And again, I only needed 6. I grabbed 10. Because in the other end of it, it's going to save me some time later. Yeah. Yeah. There's many side hustles though. You can do stuff from home. You can do whatever. So. I always wondered about the side hustles with the people that buy the pallets of stuff, the unknown stuff from like say Amazon or whatever, and then resell the stuff. Is it actually legit? Is it actually feasible? Is it a viable income? There's a place where I live here that buys, obviously, they buy pallets of stuff from Amazon, and they have a brick and mortar place. Forget what the name of it is. But they just let people come through and pick through the pallets, you know. They don't even have to sort, nothing. They just bring the pallets in, unwrap them, and let people just dig through them. And then they get a price off of what they picked out of it. Like here, you can have all that shit for $50, you know. If they bought it at a bulk, you know, it's like they paid however much for each pallet, and as long as they recoup that initial investment, they're ahead. You know, if they get so many pallets a day or week or month or whatever, I don't know how it works. They're coming out ahead and able to pay rent on their brick and mortar place besides making an income or making a living. These damn curvy roads is such a pain in the butt. You bounce off a couple guardrails and you got yourself some flat tires, so you gotta be careful. He's alright back there. I gotta tighten up this rope though. Tighten it up, tighten it up, tighten it up. The most important thing that you do for a side hustle, make sure it's legal. You're selling drugs out of the trunk of your car is not legal. It's not a. It's a side hustle, I guess, but it's not. It's not legal. Or stolen merch. You know, it's all the same. Not drug. I guess it's not the same, but not the same as drugs. But it's still illegal adventure. I prefer to do it legit, legal, legit. No fear of prosecution. This time is dragging on. We gotta build 3 cabins. So that's 6, or yeah, 6, 3 cargo containers. That's 6 of these things. Let's move this out of the way. Park it off to the side. We need cargo containers. How many do we need? 3. 3. Come on. Let's go. 1 on the hood. What the hell's up with this crane? Alright, let's go. Now we go all the way back. Hopefully we have enough fuel. We got roof fuel though. A little 100 gallons. I don't want to build anything with the rest of the things because you may need it for pipes or like so the metal rolls just stay in there. So now there's still 16 metal rolls at the warehouse. We'll see how many of those I'm going to need to grab in the next video. Because the rest of this video won't be any of that. We're pushing 2 hours. And when I said 2 hours-ish, about the same as the last one, that was pretty close. We're not done yet. We still got a ways to go. It's still another part to this yet. But it's an easy part. Pretty much. Yeah, but sometimes like a side hustle can turn into a full-time employment too. Like I said, starting easy with the starting small with some side hustle lawn mowing jobs can turn into you get build up a reputation. You know. I think the younger generation, I don't want to say certain things, but I think the younger generation, that Gen Z, would rather just pay somebody to mow their lawn than to mow it themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you can come over and mow my lawn. If it's only going to cost me this much money, to them it's worth it to not have to do it. You know? Maybe they don't want to deal with the lawnmower and have to find a place to store it. They don't want to have to figure out how to start it. They don't know how to use it. Oh, there's so many variables. Um, as far as that goes. It's getting a little red down here. I think I still have a truck and trailer at this parking lot yet. We got 14 gallons left. We can do it. But yeah, even the hot dog thing, or there's people that bake from home. And I know that's a thing. You got to watch the local rules and stuff as far as that goes. Alright, let's get this one on there. Will it pack? Probably not. Holy hell. Now we go to fabricate, and we'll get yourself 1, 2, 3 cabins. Change truck. Start engine. This one's got a little more fuel in it. So, open storehouse, cabins. 2 and 1 on the, oops, platform. I'm gonna grab that one. Or not. We get these 3 in their location. Just right across the street, but now we got to try to get 3 under this. I'm gonna put 1 over on this side, hopefully. Now we go push it in there. Push it in there. Let it count? No. Gotta go all the way in. Oh, it's in there. Alright, now we come around this side. Unpack. Nope, get it down low. Well, what the hell are you doing over here? Stop! get you over here. I smell to get around this way, huh? There's two. I'm just gonna get that third one in there. I got the trailer. Do I have the? I think I got the trailer. Release the winch. Apparently, I didn't want to release the winch. Restore crane. Crane mode. Hey, it worked. Now we still have to do the other part. Alright, restore crane. All we're going to do is we're going to go to, if I can, is this it? No. This is it. Nope, that's not it. Damn it. No. Nope. Yep. We're going to move this out of here. You'll see in a minute why. First of all, I got to get myself some metal beams anyway, so. Or metal rolls, sorry. But we're going that way as soon as I get myself one more click. Afternoon. Believe me, I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible. I do have stuff to do besides play video games. So I recorded the last video and this video on the same day, so I've been going for like 4.5, 5 hours. I need to go to my truck or my garage. Customize, engine stays, gearbox, off-road, suspension, raised, tires, put the big honkers on there. We need to build a saddle high truck. That's what we're building. Because of the fact that it's over in the other map and I don't want to use it. Because I'm going to use that truck over there for something else. You'll see at the end. Spare wheel I don't need. Winch I need. Autonomous. There's a gat. Snorkel. Frame add-ons. Saddle high. No crane. Oh, I got to put the tools on there. No crane, but we're putting the supplies on there. Roof rack number 2. The rest of this, no. The reason I don't put the crane on it because it collides with the whenever you're pulling. I go with the side exit exhaust because it doesn't cloud out the area. And we're going orange. You know what I mean? If that exhaust is just blasting all over the place, it's coming out the top and you can't see what you're doing, at least with the side exit, it's a little bit more feasible. Alright, instead of 2 stock or exhaust stacks sticking straight up. But I'm grabbing this truck, which I'm going to hook to the other truck, and I'm going to take that one as far as the I guess close to the concrete plant. But I'll be down that way. That'll be closer to that warehouse to where I can grab some more of the 16 remaining metal rolls. At least I'll have a truck that far. You know what I'm saying? I'm going that way anyway. Multitask. Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. I don't remember now. How about side hustles? Yeah, and the side hustle thing is if you don't mind not having a day off or 2 days off, or you're good with 1 day off a week. I mean, I would assume that $400 in 1 day, at least for me, is more than I make in a day, on an average day, or on any day of my work week. You know what I'm saying? So if you had the potential to make $400 in a day as a side hustle, let me turn that engine on. That seems like it's helping me too much. Why wouldn't you take that? You know what I'm saying? Even if you only did it once a week, and you already have the stuff. If you had to push mow 10 lawns a day on a weekend, on a Saturday or a Sunday, depending upon which day it's not raining. Obviously, if it's raining, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to push mow. And you'll be cleaning out your mower all the time because it'll be plugging up. But keep in mind, if you're using a residential lawnmower, like your average Walmart lawnmower that you paid, $300 for or whatever, or you bought it at a garage sale, somebody sold you a lawnmower, whatever. However you got your lawnmower, your push mower, with self-propel or whatever. Those lawnmowers are meant for a singular lawn once a week for 5-10 years, depending upon your lawn. Once a week for the whole summer. Depending on what you're mowing over, if you're mowing over stumps and shit like that, you're just not gonna hold up. But if you're mowing 10 lawns a week, now you're lessening the life of that lawnmower. You know what I'm saying? You're multiplying your lawn times 10, and the longevity of your lawn of the lawn mower is going to be less. But again, you paid $500, $500, whatever for it, and in 1 week, you've paid for it. If you get 10 lawns at $50 a lawn, you just bought a new lawnmower. So it's really not that big a deal if it blows it up. You know what I'm saying? If it starts going to shit, you could probably still sell it on Marketplace for $50. Somebody would buy it and try to refix it, put new whatever in it, and then you just go buy a new mower. And you don't want to. It'll last you probably the one season. Every season you're gonna be buying a new mower. But if you're making $500 a week, it shouldn't be too difficult to buy yourself a mower. Maybe even a commercial edition of a mower to where you can mow. It's meant to mow more lawns, heavy duty parts, or heavier duty parts. So this trailer is gonna get towed. I believe that's the trailer, right? Tank for the plant. Where the hell is my mission here? Oh, it's the wrong tank. Saddle high required. I went to the wrong fucking place. Pardon my French. There's another one that's got that trailer. You know what? Because of that, I'm going to drag this thing out of here and put it on the road. So if you're wondering how this thing got to the road, it's because I fucking grabbed it. It's for another mission. I think it's the next part. I got one step ahead of myself, but it's still a saddle high trailer. I just made the video longer because I went to the wrong area. I was wondering why there was an arrow over there, or a thing over there. But yeah, I mean, so the side hustle thing is, first of all, you're gonna want to have work. You have to be willing to work. Nobody's gonna give you shit for free. You know, you can't just call in the next week. It's like, I mowed it for 1 week. I'm not gonna do that anymore. Then you got to call all your clients back and say, you know what, I thought I was going to do it, but yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. So find somebody else to mow your lawn. It's not going to be a good reputation for you. It's not going to improve your reputation as far as owning a business or whatever. And make sure you treat your customers with respect and treat their lawn as if it were your lawn, and you want it to look nice, and be proud of your work and craftsmanship and all of that stuff, you know. Don't half-ass it. I don't even know what's still left at that warehouse. What's still left at that warehouse by bricks and cement there yet. I still have 3 bricks in there. I don't know how many bricks I need, but I don't want to block this off if I need to get back in there, because right now it's going to be blocking it. But I want it on the road, but I don't want it to be in the way. You know what I'm saying? This has to be, because it's going to take up some room, it has to be parked somewhere. Shove it in reverse. Detach. Alright, let's grab this trailer. We'll pull it the rest of the way. We're going there anyway. Well, we're longer than the last video. I actually thought I was going to be shorter. For some reason. My bad. I thought I was going to be shorter. I thought I was going to be closer to the 2-hour mark. Not 2.5-hour mark. I'm going to drive over a bunch of this shit. Hopefully my trailer doesn't get caught. Looks like we're alright. Oh. But if you're going to do that, do it at a certain age. Well, you can do it as a side hustle. Think about it when you get older. Say retirement age. And you want to retire from your job. But you still want to tinker and do stuff. Because the last thing you want to do after you retire is to do absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? You really should stay somewhat busy. Not just go turn in from a hard-working soul to a couch potato, because that's not good. That's you won't be retired for very long, because of the fact that your body is used to doing a certain amount of exercise, a certain amount of work. And I think if you just go straight from that to doing nothing, you're not getting the exercise. You're probably eating worse. And there's many factors, and I'm not taking this thing through that rail yard, by the way, this big trailer. Yeah, I'm not going down the train tracks with this. But there's many factors that determine if you go from being a hard-working soul to a lazy couch potato, that you tend to not live long after you do that, if you go to that from one extreme to the other. I mean, it's nice to chill and relax, but still stay somewhat active as far as that goes. So if you wanted to do the lawn mowing thing as a side hustle, and you wanted to mow 5 lawns a week for an extra $500 a week, or 10 lawns a week for $500 a week, and you're retired, still collecting Social Security or whatever, you can stay under the radar, make an extra $500 a week. Believe me, if you're only living off Social Security, if there's still Social Security left yet, by the time you get to retirement age, am I through this? I hate this snow that is powdery. You know what I'm saying? It's snow, but it's almost like quicksand. It's like it doesn't let you just drive through it. I guess they're trying to make it real, but it is what it is. We'll just shove it into low, high, just low. But we are almost done, and we're looking at 216. Once I hit the road, I can make up some time. 220, 222. Oh, it's 217 now. I'm going to say 222. No later than 225. Let's get this thing going. We're not getting very far with. I think I got through the powder. And it's freaking darkness. I wish you could just lock it. Again, I wish you could just lock it on noon. Like Farm Simulator. Or Arc, you can lock it on the time. Or adjust it to where it is like it's locked. Speedy through the night and slow down through the day, so that makes it seem like it's always light out. But you get something like this where I start in the afternoon because the mornings suck. The mornings are still dark for you all. Again, for me, I don't care. If I'm just on playing, I let it go through the whole day. But for customers, for y'all to watch, it's much better to have a brighter screen to look at instead of what's he doing. We're getting there. Part near. Come on, we just gotta deliver this to the loading zone 2. We're almost there. I want to say 222. I mean 220. Damn. Of course, we're not there yet. Come on. Is this fuel, by the way? Yes. Let's top the tank off. So we only have one more of these big freaking, what do you call it, to do? Yay, 20,000 reward. This is almost done. Let's take a quick peek. Alright, I only have, like, this is wood, logs. This one's logs. This one's logs. And this one is just, yeah, pain in the ass. This is all we have left. That was that big trailer. But you got to do all these other ones. And we only got to build 2 more cabins. Yay! So that means we need 12 more, or no, 4 more things. I think I got them down there. Small pipes. Anyway, we'll go through all that on the next one. I want to thank everybody for watching. Hopefully you didn't get bored by my stories. True story around the rafting thing, by the way. My meandering and my wandering on conversations or topics. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below. And enjoy the rest of your day or evening. And we'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.